Well, guys, this video is going to be pretty shocking right here. Extremely shocking. I saw this last night. I was like, man, I got to get up this morning and I must make a video on this. Folks, how does a woman that owns a home goes missing for something like 9 years and nobody actually questions anything? But apparently this woman's family decided to actually visit her house, and all of a sudden they actually find her deceased. But what makes it more strange is the manner in which she was actually found. Guys, she was actually found dead, frozen in a freezer. Now, how does an elderly woman actually get into a freezer? I think it's pretty obvious. Somebody had to have put her there. Folks, this sounds like a murder to me. Okay? Now, the neighbors, they knew the woman. And one of the neighbors said they ain't seen this woman in a long time. They didn't think nothing about it. But what makes this even more shocking is there was actually people living in that house as of right now. I got questions. Before we get into it, guys, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Every single Friday, we have our member live stream. You don't want to miss out. Just starts at $5 per month. So let's get into it right here, guys. Elderly California woman found dead in freezer, was missing for 9 years. Guys, this sounds like a 187 to me. I think she definitely got murdered. And somebody knows about this. People living in the house. Nobody actually thought to, hey, let me check that freezer. Yeah, this is strange. It says here, an elderly woman who was found dead inside a chest freezer in a home in Ally Gardens area of San Diego, California, was identified Thursday as Mary Margaret Hatsby Jones. Out-of-town visitors to the house found her body on December 22nd. Law enforcement officials believe she had been missing or was believed to be dead for nearly 9 years. The San Diego Union Tribune reported Thursday. And these are visitors. I do believe they were family members. Nobody questioned nothing after 9 years. No police reports. I'm curious about that, because usually, like, when you actually go and do a welfare check on a home, and it's pretty obvious the police didn't visit this home, you're going to search everywhere for this woman. Nobody thought to look in this freezer until now. Wow. The woman lived in a house on Zion Avenue before she died, the outlet said. According to CBS 8, she would have been 81. Police are now working to determine if her death was linked to a crime or some form of accident. That's not an accident. You don't accidentally just fall into a chest freezer and disappear for about 9 years. Anyway, let's go ahead and watch this news clip here to get some more insight. Let's roll it.
Very bizarre indeed, and the police again have identified Mary Margaret Hatsby Jones as the would have now been 81-year-old woman that was found dead inside of that freezer, her body found. Neighbors that remember her spoke about her as being nice, as being cordial, and honestly didn't know where she had been for the past several years.
What? Oh, I have no idea. She always was very cordial. I used to say, good morning, Mary. Hello, Mary. Goodbye, Mary. That's it. She just stayed there and I stayed here.
In my head, it's not an active life threat, but it is something that's crazy that you don't really hear about every day.
No, definitely something that you don't see every day. Now, the home in which Margaret Hatsby Jones had been found, she did live there at one point, and according to police, she may have been missing or dead for at least 9 years. And again, she would have been 81. Now, her body was discovered in that freezer less than 2 weeks ago. Police are still trying to determine how it is that she got there. Was this some sort of nefarious crime, some sort of accident, or again, going through a number of different types of scenarios. Now, what we know about Haxby Jones is that she was licensed as a registered nurse in the 1980s. According to records, had lived in the home with her husband, Robert. According to police, there was no obvious signs of trauma or injury to her body, and they are still trying to determine a cause of death. Now, police are investigating this as a suspicious death. They have not released any more details as to what may have led to the body being stored in that freezer for that very grim and grisly discovery there by folks that were staying there at that home, at that Airbnb, now what it's been converted to. So for anyone who maybe knows anything about Mary Margaret Haxby Jones, or again, anywhere in that Allied Gardens area, please, you're being asked to call police, and you can always remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers. Eric and Netta.
Yeah, so you saw that right there, guys. Now, when I saw this last night, I do believe they actually said that like her family members found her in the freezer. Maybe they updated this. Not really sure. Man, this is crazy. Crazy. Wow. Okay, so this is another clip here. So let's watch this clip here. I believe this is the one I actually saw yesterday. Let's play this.
Five is on top of a developing story. An 81-year-old woman has been identified after her body was found in a freezer. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday night. I'm Kathleen Bade. The startling discovery of Mary Margaret Haxby Jones was made by her family visiting from out of town.
Yeah, so it was made by a family. Her family found her
At an Allied Gardens home. And that's where we find our Kasha Gregorczyk live with what we're learning tonight. Kasha.
And Kathleen, we did try knocking on the door of the home today. Nobody answered, though we have seen the light on at the house throughout the evening. Those new details released today by police are shocking and surprising, whether you live in this neighborhood or not, with police saying that the woman may have been missing or dead for up to 9 years. Police are confirming the identity of a woman found dead in a freezer at this home in Allied Gardens.
As a former homicide investigator, now turned producer, this is right out of a script from Hollywood.
Officials say Mary Margaret Haxby Jones would have been 81 in present time, but she could have been missing or dead for nearly a decade prior to the discovery of her body on December 22nd. San Diego police say family visiting from out of town found her.
It's a misappropriation of a deceased body. You have a duty to call the authorities if somebody is passed, so that they can be processed in a normal fashion.
Without a timely death certificate or autopsy, former homicide detective Pete Carrillo says investigators will more than likely be digging into Haxby Jones's finances.
All of that process has been avoided for a particular reason, and one could only think that that was to perhaps benefit financially off of not reporting her death.
Based on the unusual circumstances the homicide unit is investigating, however, they say there were no obvious signs of trauma to her body and the cause of death remains under investigation.
This body must have been in the freezer for a long time, way before we moved here. So the worry of a killer on the loose kind of went away with that, but it's still something that I was looking forward to knowing more about.
Hassan Al-Jamali says those newer to the neighborhood like him never knew a woman lived there, only seeing an older man. The next door neighbor knew Haxby Jones but couldn't remember the last time she saw her. She asked not to be shown on camera.
She's a nice lady. That's all I could tell you. She says good day, good morning, good night. That's it.
Haxby Jones is believed to have lived at the home on Zion Avenue before her death. The chilling details released so far have left neighbors eager for progress on the case.
Just get to the bottom of it. I want to know more details.
And police are now looking for anyone who knew Mary Margaret Haxby Jones or perhaps knows more about her death. If you have any information, you are asked to contact the San Diego Police Homicide Unit or Crime Stoppers. Reporting live in Allied Gardens tonight, Kasha Gregorczyk, Fox 5 News.
Wow. Amazing. Now I'm wondering too, guys, maybe just maybe she actually died of natural causes, but whoever was in that home decided to like keep her alive and start taking advantage of her finances and stuff like that. That's possible too. But I'm curious, how does a family not know that that family member is missing for 9 years and all of a sudden shows up and then discovers a body in a chest freezer? Really? I got questions about that. It could be homicide, or it could be a natural death and somebody just took advantage of her by not reporting her death. That's possible too. They said they didn't find any signs of trauma or anything like that, even though it actually could be murder still. You never know. Could be poison. I have no idea. This is a wild story right here, guys. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.